As far back as I can remember, I dreamt of a normal life. A life filled with normal things. A life where monsters don't live in closets or under the bed. A life where ghosts aren't real. I just wanted to be normal. But that didn't happen. It wasn't meant to be. Since my early 20s, I have experienced profound paranormal events that would change my life. Extreme poltergeist activity, living amongst those that have departed this earth in ways unimaginable. It has affected my loved ones and children with no end in sight. I could hear things, see things, and feel things not of this world. I asked myself if this was a gift or a curse. With the help of my mother and close friends, I emerged a paranormal investigator. Since 2013, I have been on a relentless journey to learn about the paranormal. This is my time to share my journey with you. Welcome to my Paranormal Soapbox.
Hello, and welcome to my Paranormal Soapbox. It's me, your host, Justin Brown. Hello. Hello, everybody. I see everybody tuning in. Thank you for joining. We have Missy with us tonight. How are you, Missy?
I'm good. How are you?
I am tired, but I am ready to proceed with the show tonight. I know that I try to be clickbaity as possible. There are things going to be changing. What's really sucky is I have here, let me turn myself down. For some reason I'm loud. So let me go to filters, turn myself down a little bit. Check. There we go. Facebook has decided to ban the Linktree feature that you can, if you don't know what Linktree is, it's a website that you can use to link all of your stuff, all your social media, all your websites, everything you want to direct to people using one link. Well, Facebook has, I think, has identified that as spam because every single video on Facebook, and I think this has happened on YouTube, and that's why one of our YouTube channels got banned. Thanks for liking, Sky. I think it's the Linktree, and it's been kind of flagged as spam, so I'm hoping that's true. If Facebook goes down for some reason, let me know. I'm going to so far, it looks like we're still online, so that's good. So far, so good. If you see a fly flying around, sorry. I've tried to kill it, but I didn't have time. But things are going to be changing, hopefully for the good. I want to know what you guys think. I'm going to be relying on your guys' feedback. Hopefully, I haven't talked to Missy at all. I haven't talked to anybody, Jessica, at all about this. So, everybody's hearing it for the first time tonight. I know I've been on hiatus. I've been very busy with work and family stuff, daughter's sports stuff. But from the deletion of almost, I want to say, a quarter to almost half of our video archives on Facebook and on YouTube, we may be starting over with this show. We may be I'm going to try to do another video intro to kind of make it look fresher, because this show is getting older. I mean, isn't it over 2 years old now, Missy?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I think I have a memory from last year, and it was like, let me see. Last year we did episode 106.
So it's been 2 years.
Yep.
At least. So we'll do some shout outs real quick. I see a lot of people chiming in. I miss a lot of these people. Interacting with you guys was something that I know meant something to me, but to not do it for at least 4 or 5 months, I mean, you don't know what you have until you don't have it, right? So let's give some shout outs and some love to these people in the chat before we proceed. I want you guys are just as much a part of the show as me and Missy are. You guys really shape this show and pretty much drive it. I mean, so let's go. Let's do some shout outs.
We have Michelle Millens. We have Marilyn. We have Josh Bender. We have Sky Ray, Darren Smith, Holly Miner, Appalachian Oddity, Entity 7, which is Joe Vitale, Eddie Pence. We have Tina P, Peggy Goodell, Carmel Wild, Cecilia C, Appalachia. Oh, that's Joe. Let's see. I'm confused here. Bill, and a Fireball, and I think that's it right now. And Sandy Griffith and Spirit Stalker.
Wowzers. That's a lot of people there. A lot of cool people.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can
This guy
get
said,
this.
"Oh, we love you all."
Nice.
And Marilyn missed us.
Marilyn did. I missed you, Marilyn. I mean, it's been a life change for me, big time. I went from basically thinking about death, ghosts, the afterlife, having to apply science to the many facets of the paranormal, to a grind that will suck the soul and life straight out of you very quickly.
And it did.
It's still doing.
I know. We also have Susan Zeben, Troy Haney, Spirit Stalker, and Annie Dom.
Annie Dom. That must be a Are You Media follower, because I'm not.
She's on YouTube.
That's right. I see her there. Well, welcome, Annie Dom. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, I'm hoping that YouTube, the spam problem that we had on YouTube was due to Linktree, because they did not tell me why they labeled me as spam.
I think we all protested that.
It sucked.
Yeah.
Let me see if my filters are even working. Compressor, noise gate. No, I don't want to change that. It seems like my check. I don't know. Just seems like I'm hot I'm really loud. Jesus. Let's see if I can turn it down a little bit. That's a little bit better. I'm not used to this microphone yet, so the filters are acting a little weird. I have to get used to it. But one of the things I wanted to talk about was not only am I going to start over with the topics, revisit and reiterate the main things that pretty much inspired this show again. What do you want to do? Like, do you want to start over on episode 1? I mean, we've done hundreds of episodes. So what do you guys think that I should do? You know, a lot of the stuff that I talked about, you can't even find in the archives anymore. You can't go on Facebook and find any video that we've put up. Well, you can, but the older ones. So, all thanks, Zarina. That's awesome. What do you guys think? Should we start over the episode? Should we stop numbering them? How should we shape the new look of my Paranormal Soapbox? Do you guys want me to keep on numbering them and keep on going from where we left off? I mean, what do you guys think that we should do? Missy, if you have any bright ideas, let me know, because I think what I particularly do, not many people do, but I think that since I'm not a hardcore skeptic and I'm not like a full-on, I believe everything, every claim, and I believe that every tool used in the paranormal does what it does. I'm like, I like to believe that I'm in the middle and I'm fighting for both sides for the better good of the paranormal. But I want to keep the show unique like it has been in my mind. So what should I do? Should I keep calling it my Paranormal Soapbox and just put a topic there and like number the episodes? What should I do? What are your ideas to kind of reshape and kind of almost not rebrand, but just rethink how I structure the episodes?
Karma Wild said, "Let's go back to kindergarten."
Okay.
Tammy Sierra said, "You're new to me."
I'm new to you. Well, that's good.
Appalachian Oddity said Paranormal Soapbox Reloaded, the remix, the next generation.
I like that. Reloaded.
Michelle Millen said From Where You Left Off. Joe Vitale said just keep going. Put a fresh coat of paint on and put a fresh coat of paint on if you can. Download the old episodes and re-upload.
Well, here's the problem. I can't download the old episodes because YouTube's taking them off, Facebook's taking them off, and I think the only place I can find the old ones are Periscope and Twitch, maybe. But Twitch even takes down some of the old ones after so long. So what I'm doing now is recording each episode. So far, it doesn't look like it's using very many resources, so that's good. And I'm going to archive every episode from here on out on our website, straight upload. And hopefully that will be a good backup in case people like newcomers to the show want to, start watching some of the older stuff that we did. They can on our website. So that is one thing I'm considering. I do like the My Soapbox Reloaded idea because I'm cheesy.
Appalachian Oddity said I've always liked the title. Keep the soapbox.
Yeah, I don't think I can change it now. I think people would be pissed if I changed it.
Yeah.
So we'll keep the same name, but I'm definitely going to try to find time.
What is your Twitch channel, Justin?
Interface Death TV / Twitch TV.
Becky, that so confuses me, honey. It still confuses me.
What?
She got married.
Yeah, she did.
She changed her last name, and I'm like, that's Becky Compton.
It's
Becky Young.
So we now have to call her Becky Young.
Yeah.
Which is going to be strange for a while.
Yeah. A Fireball has just joined. Ron just joined.
Nice.
Holly DiMaggio.
So far, YouTube has got the most people watching on that platform.
Yeah.
So what I like to do is promote cross chatting between the platforms. I know you guys can all see the chat on the screen right now. So what I do like to do, but I probably don't mention it a lot, is encourage cross-platform chatting. So try to do that as much as possible. I know it's hard. I did use a bot, but it got annoying as hell for YouTube. It would put Facebook comments right into the YouTube chat. That got spammy. So try to at least you can kind of comment on some things.
David Wolver said, ever thought about putting the show out in audio format, podcast sites?
Yes, I have. And since I'm recording it, I can now do that more easily. When I do upgrade my computer, I'm going to start doing some raw, wave audio recording inside of OBS, which is a broadcast software that I use. So hopefully that will come sooner rather than later. I used to do that, but I don't know how many people actually listen to it that watch a show. I think people like to tune into the video version, but I do think that's a valid idea and something I should at least put up there to see how it goes.
Let's see. Entity 7, which is Joe, said truth. YouTube chat is the cool kids.
That's
They're the cool kids.
That's what I expect the YouTube people to say.
Have you ever had a guest share their stories?
Yes. I used to have a live show on Wednesdays. It used to be every Wednesday, then it went to bi-weekly, then it went to 0. And I would interview people in the paranormal field, investigators, psychics, authors, celebrities that are on paranormal television, so on and so forth. And I'm going to be bringing that back because I know a lot of people like that format, and it's something different from this type of format, which is just like talking head crap, people, just basically riffing on topics and getting feedback from their community. So I think one of the changes that will come to this show is I'm going to maybe bring in other people and have subsets of my paranormal soapbox. Okay, so hear me out on this idea. So, it's just an idea, but there's, I like the idea of Paranormal Symposium. I used to have a show that I tried to launch on another Facebook page called Supernatural Symposium, but I like the idea of symposiums and bringing people together to talk about certain subjects and discussing topics. And it's almost like a round table. It's basically a round table show, but I call it a symposium just to be different, right? So, because there's a lot of round table shows out there with that name, but it's basically the same idea. And what I want to do is not bring on people that think like me or agree with everything or most of everything I say. I want to try to bridge gaps and cross-check my ideas with other people's ideas and try to find out if there's any way to not only bridge gaps, but to see if there's any understanding we can have with people with varying viewpoints on paranormal topics. And I think, go ahead.
So we're going to have Kenny Biddle on once a week?
We will see Kenny Biddle again. Yeah, because he's very open. He's a very open person, easy to get along with, easy to bring onto a show. So yes, but not just hardcore skeptics. Like, there's a lot of people that believe that you can just pull up an app on your phone and talk to ghosts. So that's something that we, rage against all the time. But I think it's valuable to try to understand where they're coming from and why they believe that.
Right.
And as long as we can learn how to respect those people and why they believe that and what makes them tick, I think it just strengthens the paranormal community. And at the very least, we can learn to appreciate each other as people instead of just people who don't agree with what you agree with on such because the paranormal community now, since it's out there and so popular, it just becomes a bloated subject. It's not only just a touchy subject in a lot of matters, but it's just bloated with a whole bunch of crap that we put into it. Our egos, our beliefs, our biases, all that stuff, it just bloats it. So I'd like to cook it down. I'd like to, allow that shit to evaporate on my show and just boil it down to people and what makes them them. You know what I mean? So that's one of my ideas, and I want to know what people think about that. I mean, would you like seeing that? I mean, we would have Missy and Jessica when she's available on the show to help with chat and interact with, but, like, for example, to bring on Sky, for example, or to bring on Holly, or to bring on any of these people, because a lot of these people in the chat are personalities on Facebook that are into the paranormal for whatever, whatever reason.
And they're good at what they do.
Right. And I think people have stuff to bring to the table.
Right.
So, it's not just going to be me and, all the how I poo-poo on stuff all the time.
Well, I do have some comments. Okay. Carla Wild said, and I never thought I would read this comment, but I about spit out my coffee when I read it. She said, "Bring back alien butt plugs."
I knew I had some weirdos on the show. Karma only tunes in to hear about the weird crap.
Becky said, "I love the one y'all did with the guest." And sorry, I can't remember the name.
Necromancer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joe Vitale said, "I'll argue with you, Justin, even if I agree with you." Right.
Like, we could have Joe on. Definitely have Joe, on the show, and everybody that we investigated with and worked with in the past. Just make it a round table, but not call it that because I don't want to be like everyone else.
Tammy Sierra said, "Yes, there's a spiritual awakening happening on our planet."
That is a very large belief that I have researched a lot, and I just think it's fascinating that the timing of the internet and the timing of certain things have made it seem like that. But I don't know how much validity that has. Like, people are awakening, but there's no standardization to it. But I think that might be wrong. I think the awakening might be how should I word this? I think people are awakening to their selves and how they view it, instead of conforming to a certain dogma or a certain way you should be or the way you should think. Spiritually, politically, all that stuff, especially with the politics going on and the tribalism that involves that. But spiritually, I think people need to be, they need to have their own ideas and the reason why they believe in these things. Because I've said this, I don't know how many times on this show, the afterlife is not just this and it's not just that, and there's no underlining principles to it. Maybe to some degree, but it's such a weird and non-principle thing that I believe that whatever you take from this life, you're going to be bringing into the afterlife in ways you don't quite understand or think that you do. So it's almost, the analogy I give all the time is, when you're awake during the day, all that stuff, all the things you experience and all the things you remember are brought to your sleep and your dreaming. And the reason why it's so fascinating and so symbolic and so strange and surreal is that that's a different mode of consciousness. And I think the afterlife, or your higher self or your spiritual self, whatever you want to say, is another mode of your existence that exists elsewhere outside of this physical realm. And I think you bring with you elements of your lives in your life, if you believe in reincarnation and past lives, you bring it into the afterlife, and it's not just heaven, and it's not just hell, it's not just this or that, whatever religion likes to preach that it is. It's everything and anything. And that is the most profound and intriguing thing, if that is true. Because the possibilities are limitless, and it kind of gives that shroud of the unknown to it. Because I know I'd like to apply science, but it's probably outside the realm of, understanding it that way, because it doesn't seem like, if you study it, if you study spirituality of all different, walks of life and areas of the world, and, in antiquity and in the present, and maybe think about what it may be in the future, it's so pluralistic and vast and different. Many things, change it and make it what it is. So I like to think that it's the great unknown, because the very essence of it is ever changing and not pinned down to this or that.
Tina P said, keep the name and reload. A lot of great information on the shows, and it's a bummer to lose that. I enjoy the formula.
Okay, so I don't want to step away from that, but I do want to mix it up. And with the losing of all the episodes, I definitely want to. I feel like I have to take some steps back to move forward, and I don't know if that's right or wrong. Like revisiting, like I want to go through the list of everything we talked about and talk about it again, because I had this body of work in an archive that's gone, and that upsets me and bothers me.
Deb said we all have a hypothesis. David Wolver said knowing the person behind the investigator is always key.
Right, I read that and I agree with that.
Heath Edwards asked, does Bigfoot have dingleberries?
If Bigfoot shits in the woods, then it would be plausible that he did.
Sky said,
I hope you don't spend much time thinking about that.
Sky said, when are we going to get together? I can't wait.
In the real?
In the real, or even on a show?
Well, it depends on how bad. We'll be in Gettysburg in August at the Bash, so you could come see us there.
Derek's here.
Your Derek?
Yep, my Derek.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't think he would be able to watch.
Where is Sky again? Where the hell do you live again? I forget. Maybe
Not
I don't know
far
if you ever told
from me.
Is she in Indiana?
It couldn't be far because she's at Randolph County almost a lot. She's at Randolph County Infirmary a lot.
Oh, well, I know she did a documentary there with some folks.
I wish you could have a priest and a Satanist on and let them go at it. What a show that would be.
Yeah, no. No, I don't want to do that crap, but it would be interesting to have, someone with that type of background.
Both, yeah. Tava Memories said, I don't think it's so much a spiritual awakening toward anything. It's just with the ease of access to information, it's a lot easier to move away from profounded beliefs your parents gave you a decade ago, and you were told what was what and had to
Right.
say no way to tell otherwise,
Right.
aside from talking to people locally about it.
Yes.
And that is no longer the case.
Yeah, you can find communities that are much more able to listen to you, to be open about, and find people that you can align with.
Guy
And
is near Penn State.
Penn State. She's in Pennsylvania then.
Yep. She could. She
I
could
think I
come
knew
see
that. I
us.
forgot.
She could
I
come
think I knew
see
that.
us.
When I actually I'm going to start, doing film projects again. We have talked about doing stuff together. I know she's had projects that's been done, and she's probably always working on stuff. I know she did the book last year, I think it was, or was it this year? I can't remember.
I think
But
it came out early this year.
so I know that we had talked about doing stuff, and I hope that happens. Um, if anybody wants to give me all kinds of money so I don't have to do a day job and I could do this all the time, let me know. Because Christy had to retire. She's got multiple sclerosis and she can no longer work. So that's
She can't even hold a jar of spaghetti sauce.
But she can, but she drops it all the time. I just hope it don't get worse.
She has to buy the plastic jars now. Tammy Cedar said spirituality is a very personal thing. Some souls gone through a lifetime.
Yeah.
The format needs to be a gathering of different views without an us versus them mentality.
I like that, Peggy. I hope that's something that I have been doing. And because people tend to gravitate towards their beliefs versus their disbelief, and there's reasons behind that. Oh, we got a huge comment there on Twitch. Go ahead and read that.
She said, not just people to align with. It's easy to find people that will floor your beliefs validity if it's got a weak foundation. Unfortunately, most religion doesn't heavily rely on the weak foundation of this is how it is because that's how it is. And when someone can pull up a Google link and show you a reason to believe that's not true, and then the religion can't give you a reason to stick around, you just kind of wander off curiously, and at that point you open a book. An open book is bored.
Yes, I love that comment, and I will add to it. The people who I know that I respect and that I view as intelligent and rational and everything, they're loyal people to what they've been brought up to believe, like Christianity, Catholicism, whatever it is, Judaism, whatever it is. I understand the reasoning to want to stay loyal to those beliefs because it's almost like you've promised your belief system that you would believe, that you would have unwavering faith, okay, no matter what. So the kind of people who are loyal to that through thick and thin, I respect, but I don't want you to feel like when I challenge your beliefs that I'm saying that I'm right, you're wrong. What I like for Josh Bender, for example, like he's probably the most easygoing and open person to varying belief systems out there. But he's that type of person to stay loyal to his promise to his God and to everything that's involved with his belief system. And I think there's value in that. And I think that there is something that he's going to bring to his afterlife from that. And that's almost another topic that that we've touched on, but we haven't really fleshed out on this show. Is I think that it's okay to believe in those religions and take them to the afterlife with you, and they will have some value and some validity there. And that's why I think that there's no right or wrong when it comes to that. But there are bad things that come out of religion that, like the youth pastors that like scurry the playgrounds, and it's almost like army recruiters and youth pastors trying to get people saved and get recruited into the army. There's this weird thing that I think that needs to change with that, but it is what it is. I love science proving what I know. I do too, but there's a limit to that. What are you laughing at?
Christy said Josh definitely does not believe in the Cowboys.
No.
It just struck me funny. Matt is watching. He said, hello, everyone.
Hello, Matthew Benton.
Yes, Matthew Benton.
That Matt, okay.
Yep.
What's up, bro?
Holly Miner said she's right there with Christy. She just ended her career due to MS and moved to Michigan.
Nice. Sorry about having MS, but hopefully the move helped. Not so hot in Michigan, maybe? Because the heat sucks when you have MS.
Darren said, but in my mind, the Cowboys is my religion.
Sky says she was an active duty Army recruiter. So now I'm going to get it now.
Holly DiMaggio said, I am Catholic, but since being in this field, I have learned about other spiritual beliefs. So now I say I'm Catholic with a pagan attitude.
So yeah, like, okay, let me know what you think, Holly, when it comes to the whole debate whether what's real. Like, is paganism real and everything else false? Is Christianity real and everything else false? What is your take on that? Do you believe that all of those religions and idealisms and faiths have things that are salvageable or are valid, and that you have to focus on like this premise of what's right and wrong? Because what I think is there's morality in most all of the belief systems that share the same premise. And but the whole, like, you have to, like, the whole Jesus thing with the Christianity thing is like, there's like this prerequisite to getting into heaven, which bothers a lot of people. But what do you think, Holly? I mean, do you think that we all can coexist and continue to believe how we believe, or how we were brought up to believe, and maybe we can augment, change, or add to those beliefs as we get older? Do you think there's room for that? Let me know what you think.
Joe said Josh Bender has a personal and deep relationship with his God, Nickelback. Matt said the film is going to take 4 days to render, Justin.
Oh my God, why?
I don't know. Holly
shouldn't
said,
do that.
Holly Miner said, I have a friend that is a Catholic practitioner.
What's that?
I don't know.
Priest?
Yes.
Chester Douglas. We have to read Chester. I probably won't hear from him for 5 years after this.
He said, I'd say there's a fundamental difference between recruiting kids for armed service intending ultimately to potentially
I completely agree with that. So sorry if the analogy struck nerves. Go ahead and read it.
Utilize in regards to war versus a belief that there is an afterlife, or a desire to save souls out of love and not any type of work system. Though we sadly know at least one denomination adheres to that, but certainly not remotely close to the majority.
Right. And, I didn't want it to be I didn't want that analogy, the whole war aspect of him. The analog or the comparison was, like there's recruiters, the Christian recruiters and the army recruiters to the cause type of idea. That's what I was trying to get across. So hopefully I'm clear about that. Because when I was young, I felt it was weird. Like almost every church, not every church, almost every church I went into felt cult-like. Okay? And it freaked me out. But not everybody's like that. Not every church is like that. I don't want to make that seem like that. But a lot of them are. And if you look at the crap that you see on TV, it's beyond freaky and just ludicrous to me. And when I was approached by army recruiters, it kind of had the same feel. It wasn't cult-like, but it was almost like, they had these, methods in which they use to hook you and to lure you and to present their, offers to you in ways that seem sneaky. So I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm completely wrong about that. 78 layer. Dude, you need to learn how to edit.
He said it's 4K and over 2.5 hours long. 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Dude, you need to watch some YouTube videos because you don't need 78 layers, bro. There's better ways. Hopefully you get it done. Hopefully it turns out the way you want it.
Deb said, I'm spiritual and believe that there are many paths to one God or creator.
Mm-hmm.
Holly DiMaggio said, I think all spiritual beliefs have what is right and what is wrong. Yes, we should be able to live together as one. Just because I believe in heaven and hell doesn't mean I'm going to argue with someone that doesn't. I'm going to listen and learn and take from what they believe.
I agree with that. Now, if Chester, you're still watching, this question's for you and anybody else who has adhered to their faith since childhood or whenever they started believing and following that religion. Is there anything that you could be presented with that would make you waver or change your mind or that would make you back away from that belief or that faith if presented to you? So we're talking about cognitive dissonance there. Is there anything that would cause you stress that would make you, not want to change? Or is there no way you would change?
He said, I knew you intended it how you're explaining, but I have the luxury of knowing you already. I'm prone to added depth or confirm intent at times. At the least, I just wanted to offer up the more accurately. It's mainly for a place of selfishness as opposed to selfish desires.
Right. So yeah, not all of the comparisons and analogs that pop in my head are going to be perfect, and perfectly well thought out. But those two things kind of popped in there, like it just felt like the recruiters for a cause type idea.
Voodoo is widely accepted by Catholicism, even considered a branch of Catholicism.
It gets deep, and the occultism and the many facets of the paranormal definitely intersect with that belief system. And I did watch the on Netflix the Evil show. Have you watched that, Missy?
Mm-mm.
It's good. You need to watch it. It's really good. And I think it went to CBS, but then it got canceled after the third or fourth season. I think some people were trying to get me to watch it. I even think my mom suggested it to me, and I finally got around to it, and I binged it. It's really good. But I thought it was great. I don't want to spoil it, but if you have not watched Evil, you need to watch it. I think season 1 or 2 is on Netflix.
Bill, stop. He said, I can see this Reload show is going to be over my head.
No, it's going to be the same, man. It's going to be the same.
He's the same damn person he
Dude,
was.
Just like the intro suggests, weird shit has happened to me. I don't have this foundation in which to explain or understand. So, you fill in the blank, fucking paranormal, man. It's weird. I don't know. Is it ghosts? Is it some kind of strange science that's going on? dude, I've experienced weird shit. So and then once someone close to me died suddenly, there was this void of, being prepared for that. And this constant reminder of death is, putting that nagging question of an afterlife and what the fuck I believe in, and is there ghosts, and why is that? It came all to a singularity, and I'm still in there. I'm still being compressed against the event horizon of what the actual fuck is going on.
See, Bill,
Hence the show.
He's gonna be all serious on Tuesday, and then Friday he'll be talking with you about butt plugs. It's still.
I'm trying to back away from. See, my mom.
I know.
Okay?
My
mom told me she stopped watching because she doesn't want her friends to see her associating with a guy that talks about nasty, dirty things. And I want my mom to watch the show and talk to me on the show.
Because we love Donna, of course.
And if I have to sacrifice that, I will.
Chester said, to answer the question you posed specifically, and sorry for the book, there would have to be a combination of irrefutable evidence of a historical, archaeological, and a host of other area not at the forefront of my mind right now. I'd also go further in saying I would still be hard pressed, perhaps, and may require actual divine intervention if a mistaken aspect of the belief required clarification.
Your short answer sounds like no, and the lack of archaeological evidence would seem to be more. That would be bothering. That would bother me. Like, I've seen a lot of people going on adventures, kind of like the Indiana Jones things. Like, oh, if there's artifacts or any archaeological evidence to be found, that would solidify like all that shit was real. So there you go. But we haven't really found anything. I personally find the story of Jesus Christ to be one of the most interesting and what's the word? It's inspiring, it's interesting, and there's something about it that has ingrained into our culture, and in my mind specifically, that like I will watch anything involved with history, biblical stories. The story itself, if it's fiction, it's probably the best fiction ever made outside of Tolkien's work that I have read or I have looked at as a piece of work, simply because of the impact it's had on so many cultures. And I'm not saying that how it's been used to dominate cultures and take them over and conquer them, but the story itself is somehow magical in a way that has me keep looking at it, keep glancing at it over there, because there's some kind of quality to it that I can't really pin a word to it right now, but I constantly try to learn as much as I can about that whole subject of that time period where Jesus was said to exist and all the things that's happened. It's fascinating.
Chester said we should have a chat privately sometime and potentially explore an audible alternate perspective across a number of subjects, perhaps appropriate for your content.
Okay. Come on the show then. I call your bet. This Chester Douglas is probably knows me more than anybody on here. He doesn't know the 42-year-old Justin, but he knew me in adolescence, and we have not talked in years. And I think that I would love for you to give me everything you got. What your ideas are, what you have to say, how you're the same, how you're different. So I'll call you on that.
The 42-year-old Justin has a bigger brain and more lack of sports ability than he did then.
What the fuck?
That's all.
So my athletic ability, like
Because if he ran like he used
It
to, he wouldn't be able to
transmuted.
walk
It
the next day.
transmuted into intellect. Is that
Yeah.
what you're saying?
No, you got smarter,
I was
but you
fast and
didn't.
dumb back in the day, but now I'm fat and smart now.
But you didn't get any healthier.
That's all you need to know, Chester. Book closed.
Morality can be objective. It would have to be a default. And if that were the case, you couldn't question it. It would just be a given. You've always known, and that everybody always know. The fact that you can think is what I'm doing wrong means it's not a universal law.
Okay, whose comment is that? I'm gonna have to go back and reread that.
It's on Twitch.
It's on Twitch.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. Let's see here. Let's switch a scenery here. I have this shot, so I'm going to switch to it. Morality can't be objective. It could have to be a default, and if that were the case, you couldn't question it. It would be a given. You've always known, and that everybody'd always known. The fact that you can't think is what I'm doing wrong means it's not a universal law. So yeah, I'm pretty much understanding what they're saying. So what he's saying, what he's saying is that morality has a subjective nature to it. It has underlying subjective foundation to it. So it can't be an objective law. So I totally agree with that. But I think the beauty of our species and our people is that we are meaning generators. We have a consciousness that is able to assign a subjective meaning to everything. And that we are able to change not only our world, but potentially our universe that we exist in based on that in itself. We can think of something and manifest it into reality. I'm not saying magic. It could be that. Well, what I'm saying is we first visualize something in our mind's eye, and then we can create it. We can build it, and we can keep doing that, and we can keep doing that. And I just think that our possibilities of, all the stuff that you see is really, really interesting, because we haven't really seen it outside of our own species. Hopefully we will in our lifetime. Like, we'll see alien AI. Well, maybe not that, but we'll see alien civilizations doing something similar to us or even cooler. What's up, Jason Snyder?
Tammy Sierra said, not fiction, just depicted different in each religion.
Right.
Christy said Chester would be a good fit on the show. Chester said, I've never avoided a gauntlet thrown.
What you have avoided is actually, saying, hey, man, what's up? In the DMs. Hey, man, what's up? On the phone call. I think the last time he messaged me, it was a few years ago. And it was something in the past, something that happened in the past. And then I'm like, hey, man, we should talk more. He's like, yeah, I'm bad about that. It's probably my fault. Yeah, it's 100% your fault. So. But yeah, he would be good. But I would be surprised, very, very surprised, if he would even get on an audio call on this show. I would be very surprised.
Appalachian Oddities said, Justin, if you like the story of Christ, what about the Buddha? That one really speaks to me as well.
I do like that. And there's different reasons why I like that story versus the story of Christ. The story of Buddha is less paranormal. The story of Christ is like so paranormal to me. It's so, it's so wrapped in occultism and so many supernatural things. It's like it's almost all supernatural. So the Buddha is very, very, I think relevant in everybody's life. It's like a lifestyle more than a religion. But I don't know that much about it. I used to, but everything that I've learned about Buddhism has almost escaped me. So I have to My hard drives are full in that one.
Chester also said, anytime, old and always friend, despite difference of belief systems.
But that's why I want that's why I would have you on here, just to give a different take. We don't need another Justin on here for damn sure. And Matt, yes, you would be someone I would ask to come on the show. So don't you worry.
Spirit Stalker said, cool setup. Christy said, it's a cool setup, but it takes 80% of my bedroom.
What? No. This is just a corner of it. I mean, I have my desk continues 12 feet that way, but I gotta have somewhere to hold all this crap. I mean, nice. So, I'm trying to read the blue Travis on. It's Travis, right, on Twitch. Is that his name? Okay. I have an in-depth experience and knowledge on the topic of lucid dreaming. And in that practice, one of our core laws is the law of expectation, that basically states that if you believe something is going to happen, it will happen, even if it's not intentional. We use this law to manipulate the dream as a form of control by implying a truth to the dream and thus creating our own outcome. I find the thought of thoughts create reality interesting because it lines up with that logic. So I do like that, because when I started, delving into quantum physics and the split experiment, the fact that measuring something, the observer measuring something, collapsing something into existence from a waveform, I want to know the threshold of that. Does it just involve photons? Does it just involve the small? Or does that somehow trickle up to the macro world that we live in, the classical world? Because, when you look into paranormal topics and the occult and magic and so on and so forth, intent is a huge thing there as well. So, I mean, and also when you delve into psychology, intent and the subconscious, I mean, it all plays, to that, echoes the same thing you said.
He also said, perfectly, and it makes me think, what if the real world works very similarly, but because it's not self contained, mental reality, your beliefs are competing with everyone else over what becomes reality moving forward.
So to give you my thought on that is, we live in a seemingly structured reality to where we all share the same experience, but there's spontaneous, what seems like spontaneous moments where it deviates from that. And that's where you have your paranormal experiences, your religious experiences, and all of those things that kind of fall under the supernatural umbrella. Okay, the glitch in the matrix type stuff. So here in this paranormal community that we exist in, we know those things aren't just, figments of our imagination. I know the things I experienced were real, but what were they? So the intent could involve a lot of those things, but I don't think it involves everything. I think that there's some things that kind of exist out of our conscious intent, but it may be the intent of other entities that are vastly different from ourselves. But I'm there with you, man. I'm right there with you.
Dustin Garrison said he's got the same setup, but he's got 6 screens. And you have the same chair. Christy said he's about to sleep on the desk if he gets more crap. Haha.
I do sleep on it. I was falling asleep. I fall asleep here every day. I'm like, okay. Oh my god. Yeah, I can ramble on for hours, and it's just because I'm really ADD. So yeah, other people who like to talk that are, ADHD or yeah, there probably is. The cable is like 15 feet long, so there's definitely an audio video delay. I do have a way to use my my smartphone as a webcam through the Wi-Fi, and there's hardly any delay there, so I may switch to that. It looks way better, so I may switch to that for the next show. I'm gonna play around with it when I have time.
Darren said Missy mutes every time you switch the cam over your head.
Oh, she does. Let me see if I can change that. Oh, let's go back to it. Let's see here. Let's see here. Yeah, she probably does. Let me add the source. NDI. Missy. There she is. We'll just move her to the back. Now she's there. Say hi, Missy.
Hi.
See, I didn't set that up properly. Well, you guys didn't tell me earlier. You guys are supposed to be my audio techs. I can't do it all.
I feel bad. I'm trying Appalachian Oddity. I'm trying. He said, don't feel the need to read any of my comments, just chatting to the chat.
What's going on?
Appalachian Oddity said, don't feel the need to read any of my comments. I'm just chatting to the chat. LOL.
Oh.
But he said Buddha, of course, is the awakened one. To become enlightened, one must simply realize that they are enlightened, they say.
Yeah, that's something that I can't get into right now, but Spirit Stalker's surprised that I don't have a big mirror next to me. Am I that vain?
You do. You have one over your head when you sleep.
A mirror?
Yeah, you have one on your headboard.
Oh. But not next to me now.
No, but you can see yourself.
Yeah, if you look, I could see it, yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. He said I wasn't being sarcastic. I'm actually chatting to the chat.
Yeah. But I am glad that I figured out that your audio wasn't on that scene.
Yeah.
Because that's a problem. Another idea I had for, I don't know if I was going to do it on this show, but I'm definitely going to try to do it on Friday shows. Is I can take this thing and I can go anywhere and I can switch to this phone and stream the video from it. And as long as I'm connected to my Wi-Fi, I can stream it on the show. So maybe, I'll set up a table and we can talk about some rigs or some setups that I use for like EVP research, or just, because I haven't done the video on the Zoom Q2 in 4K. That a lot of people, I mean, I didn't know it was going to be that popular, but a lot of people started using that setup. And I think the reason why it was so popular is that you don't need to use a separate audio device with your night vision cameras.
It is 9:01.
I know it. Put one in the chat if you want me to keep going. Let me know. I do want to stick to the hour format, but since I haven't been streaming until recently again, I can stick around for a few more minutes. If you have any questions or any other additional ideas that you would like to see me do on this particular show, I am going to bring back Necromancer, but like I said, it's going to be different. And I do want to do the Friday shows, but I don't know if I want to do 2 to 3 shows every single week, because that is a lot. But I want to do everything that I can. So
good night, Holly.
Good night.
Appalachian Oddity said, if you need a guest one of these days, maybe I can pop in and chat your ear off about electromagnetism or something.
Right. So, everybody that's kind of expressed interest here in chat. Oh, that's the train.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody that's expressed interest in being on the show, I will get a hold of you and try to kind of schedule everybody to come on, and we'll do that. It's probably going to be through Skype because that's what I use for video calling for this show. And I think all the shows.
Yeah. Chester said he sent you a DM.
I saw it, Chester. I got it. I'll get with you.
Spirit Stalker asked, Justin, do you know of any good SLS cameras?
None of them are good. Do not use them at all.
No, I don't.
Spend your money on a good camera with good audio.
Susan asked, have you ever investigated Franklin Castle?
No, but I'd love to. It's a freaking cool place, man.
Arden said the Friday shows are awesome.
I know. That's because a lot of the times we used to hang out in Discord after the show and talk about vulgar, obscene things and laugh.
Spirit Stalker says that thanks.
Yeah, it doesn't see ghosts, Spirit Stalker, at all.
Eddie Penn said, do what you feel best.
I want to know what you feel best, Eddie. Okay?
He wants your opinion, Eddie.
What would you do? It's like you don't want to know what I do.
Our motto in this house is WWJD. What would Justin do?
Yeah, it vibrated, Chester. You vibrated me, and I saw it.
And he liked it.
I kind of liked it a little bit. It was a little bit weird, but I liked it a little bit. Yeah, I had Spirit Stalker. I have talked about the SLS on the show. It was I think it was my first episode, wasn't it? Out of every device people use to see ghosts, that is the one I hate the most. At Gettysburg, when you get time, give me a call. Glad you're back. Okay, I will give you a call. I do like Discord, Arden, and I promise that will return. Okay. I mean, it is cool to just hang out with everybody and talk to them. You have stories that arguably substantiate your liking of good vibes. Okay. I'm all ears, man.
Good night, Sky.
Okay, well, I'm going to wrap it up, guys. You will see new shit coming. Hopefully I'll have time to make the intro. I love this show intro, but I'm going to make it better. And maybe make it a little bit less, in duration. Kind of get into the show faster.
Maybe he can get me and Jessica in the same room and do a video of the three of us instead of just our photo.
That would be the coolest thing ever, but I don't know if we can't get that on a consistent basis.
I know.
So I don't see that happening. Anyway, thanks, Missy, for joining me and helping me. It's always a pleasure when we get to do it. So I'm gonna wrap it up. Yep, you guys are awesome. I love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. I think my clickbait title worked a little bit, so I got a little bit more people than I expected in here tonight. But I'm going to put more effort on this show. I'm going to invite you guys on here. I'm going to get people in here that you're going to want to hear from. Okay, and we're going to have really good discussions about the topics that we're all interested in. Okay, so thank you very, very much for tuning in tonight. The social media links are not in the video description, so I can put them in the chat. Okay, so let's see here. The Patreon link, when we get to it, there's our social media. We're on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Okay, so check those out. Our website is interfacedeath.net. Really easy. Just type in Interface Death on Google and it will pop up. I promise. Okay. So that's one way you can do a deep dive in all the stuff we've been doing for the last 8-9 years in the paranormal field. Patreon, I have not updated this list. I need to do it, but most of these people are still pledging. If you want to financially back what we're doing and get rewards for it, check out Patreon. I'll put the link in the video description. You can definitely check out our merch if you want t-shirts, other crap like DVDs of our documentaries and video content. That stuff's there. And yeah, that's all I'm going to put in chat. So please extend your thanks to these types of people that you see on the screen. Hopefully I will get it updated and we'll get some more people in there and we'll get some more video content rolling. Okay, guys. And that's where I'm going to leave it. Thank you guys very much. I'm going to try to do something else maybe this week. I will let you know. I think I'm going to be working 60 hours next week. So I may not be doing a whole lot next week, but I'll try. I promise that I will. I promise that I will. But I can't promise that I'll be conscious fully. Okay, we'll say that. I'm going to play a couple of video promos to end this like I always, but I won't play them all because everybody's probably seen them already. If not, you can stick around and watch them. But I am eternally grateful for your presence tonight. Thank you very much. Just follow me on social media so you can get updated on future shows. You guys have a good night. We'll see you next time. Do you have that drive? That morbid curiosity to explore the darkness? Do you have what it takes to brave the night? You do? Good.
Dead light. For those who aren't afraid to see what lurks in the night.
My paranormal journey began many years before I called myself a ghost hunter. I entered into the paranormal community 7 years ago, not knowing how investigating the most haunted places in the Midwest would turn out. Once I found the right people, I led them into darkness, searching for the light. We would find no answers in the data, but what we found buried within ourselves would not only take us by surprise, but may define the paranormal in ways never imagined. Energies are shifting and time is ticking.
back off now. In God's name, back off.
You go back to your bathroom, you stay back there.
But I got you. Don't fucking touch me! Fuck! Okay. Leave me the fuck alone! Okay, sweetie. Okay. Open the door, get the door. Open the door, let's get her out of here.
Get the door.
Come